Thanks, Dave. I'm also excited to see everybody here today because, as you'll hear when I go through this history, this has been about a 3-year process. Started out in 2007, and people had great hopes that this would be a success, and thank goodness it has been. And it's up to all of us in this room to make it a success from this point forward. I see back in the back Joyce Peoples. She was with the very first group that got together in 2007, and we sort of patterned this after the libraries program to start out with because there was no other place in the United States that has a program like this. So thanks for coming today, Joyce, and being with us. She's retired now. She's on to happier and better, bigger and better things. Start out with a little bit of history. As I said, in 2007, this idea was first brought about. The Exploratory Ad Hoc Committee was assembled by Staff Senate President Lynn Boyder at the urging of the Women's Commission here at Clemson. And the group is tasked with developing an employee-driven framework to encourage and reward classified and unclassified non-faculty staff performance and professional development. In May and August of 2007, an informal research was conducted of other South Carolina schools, and U.S. and News and World Report Top 30 found that no similar programs for staff were currently in place in the United States, or at least among our peer groups. On down to September through December of 2007, teams formed from the ad hoc committee meet with various members of the administrative council to gauge receptiveness to this staff development program. And this was done prior to the approaching the council as a group with the idea. We wanted to go and check with the individual AC members to make sure that they were not completely against this, sort of testing the waters. In December of 2007, the group met with the provost, and this actually gave birth to the concept of centrally funding the staff development program. Now, all of you are probably aware, and I hope you are, that this is not going to be funded out of your departments. This is a centrally funded program by the university, which is a big step for Clemson to make. I can work this. Did that move? Okay. In 2008, February the 25th, the first presentation to the Administrative Council occurred of the General Staff Development Program concept. In June, the committee fleshed out the proposal of the SDP. It was presented to the Administrative Council, and they approved the startup funding for the pilot test with an unspecified number of participants at that point. July through August of 2008, the ad hoc committee conducted meetings with constituency groups to gather additional feedback on the concept and to answer questions. Smaller meetings were also held with individual administrative council members to further refine the proposal. As you see, this group met with the AC over and over and over again just to make sure that they were in favor of this concept. In September of 2008, Provost Helms relays the administration authorization of funding for up to 50 participants in a pilot test program of the SDP the following spring. Annual salary enhancement was set at 10% up to a maximum of $4,000 per successful graduate. October of 2008, unprecedented state budget cuts forced Clemson President Jim Barker to ask the committee to substantially scale back the staff development program pilot committee. The committee eventually agrees to a pilot population of 6 people to keep the concept in motion. We decided it was better to go forward with 6 than to not go forward at all, rather than to shelve it. And then in December of 2008, President Barker asked the committee to delay further pursuit of the SDP until the next fiscal year in July of 2009. So all active work was sort of suspended. Okay, we're going on to 2009. President Barker agrees to permit the committee to revisit the SDP before the Administrative Council. So basically this was taken back to the Admin Council for their approval again. The committee delegation made a new presentation to the Admin Council, including a 25-month timetable for implementation, which we're going to go over in just a few minutes. In July of 2009, the committee formally requests the target enrollment for pilot be set at 100, and that salary wage requirements be set aside. Now, the Admin Council, when we went back to them, had said that we need to use market-based data and a lot of other factors when determining who to allow into the program. They eventually decided that wasn't the best route to take, so that was tabled, and we went back to our initial way of conducting this. In August 2009, President Barker relates the Administrative Council approval of target enrollment of 25. So you see this enrollment's gone up and down and up and down, as far down as 6, and then finally back up to 25 for the pilot test. And it was agreed that in April, that the salary wage requirement was deferred for the duration of the pilot, but to be revisited should ongoing funding or program be approved after a pilot period. In other words, that market data may be revisited after the successful completion of this stage of or this pilot program here.